Stacy, welcome back. After a long hiatus, the Top Agent podcast is back. How are you doing?
I am great. Super busy with selling homes. You?
Oh, here and there. Had some interesting things happen, some home inspections that came back with results I expected to kill the deal, and it just kind of didn't.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get a pleasant surprise when you're expecting the worst.
Yes. Last night I wrote on a house with multiple offers and we had a condition of sale. And unfortunately we lost, but last week I won with the condition of sale. So,
That is interesting because I will be doing probably the same thing tonight. Now, I am struggling a little bit because there's wildfires all over northern Manitoba and in Northwest Territories, and it is tough to be outside.
yes, it is. Especially for those who exercise. I've been trying to do bike rides and yeah, it's not really possible right now. And I know you do your cardio outside. So,
I do, and I made the mistake of doing it a couple days ago, and my lungs have not felt right since.
no, it's tough. So, I actually have a question for you before we jump into this, and other agents might be interested. So, when you write an offer with a condition of sale, do you automatically provide the 48-hour clause? Because I do
Mhm.
not. And it has come into my favor not providing it because I've had agents not request it, which is me working for my client. But then I've had other agents be like, why are you not providing this right away? What's your opinion?
I have seen it both ways from multiple agents. So the difference between the 48-hour clause or the time clause and not the time clause, if you don't provide the time clause, that offer is locked in and they cannot get out until you either
Yes.
satisfy or not satisfy that condition and
Yeah.
provide the appropriate paperwork. That means that place goes pending until
You
those
sell.
conditions are satisfied or not, and they are not eligible to receive other offers that would disrupt the first offer.
Yes. Which is awesome for the buyer.
Great for the buyer. If uh, the time clause is provided, that gives the ability for the listing agent to continue to market that home, show that home, and accept offers. And once a second offer is unconditional, then that time clause gets activated and the first offer has to satisfy or waive their conditions or lose the deal.
Yes.
So, if you're representing the buyer alone and someone will accept an offer without a time clause,
Yeah.
it is definitely in their favor to do that.
Yeah. I had
For
that
the buyer.
happen.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't necessarily automatically provide it
Yes. That's my
if
thought.
a lot of it depends on the offer.
Yes.
So if the offer is, not the best number, then maybe the time clause being in there automatically will give people some comfort knowing that they can continue to try to sell their home and they don't necessarily have to take the not so good number that is written on that offer. But there's lots of different scenarios. I would say that if you're only representing the buyer, it would definitely be in your best interest to not put it in there. The
Exactly.
chances of the listing agent asking for it are extremely high.
Yes. It's interesting because we offered over asking. There was three offers on the table, and they took ours and they didn't ask for a 48-hour clause. So my buyers are very happy because we were able to sell their house without issue. But I've had agents frustrated at me as well. You should be submitting this automatically, and I'm thinking, well, I'm working for my buyer, so why would I automatically submit that? So it's
Just because
interesting.
some agent does something doesn't mean everyone else should.
Yeah, exactly.
And I run into that a lot.
Yeah.
And other agents are very quick to point out the mistakes that you have made or that they think you have made, and not always willing to take responsibility for their own.
Yes. Well, thanks for that. I was just curious what you did there. But
Yeah.
so we have a friend of mine on the show today, Denise Young, and she has been a realtor for a long time, and she is our Transcona go-to agent with Real, and looking forward to interviewing her.
And she's a member of a team.
Yes.
The James Boschman team is what is correct.
The Boschman team.
The Boschman team. Sorry,
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
Okay.
I'm sure they will forgive me. But yeah, great agents with Real. Denise is joining us today. Looking forward to chatting with her. If you have not hit like and subscribe on this video, please take the time to do that right now. Like the video, subscribe on the channel. We put out new content almost every week.
Yes.
Denise Young, how are you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
We are so excited to have you, and you've helped me a lot lately, so thank you.
You're welcome anytime.
Yes, thank you for helping Stacy lately. I appreciate it.
I love working with Stacy. She's awesome.
So let's get right into it, Denise. How did you end up in a career in real estate?
Well, my previous career, I was not very happy. I was in the automotive industry in the service department, and the immobilizer program was very, very much up and running at the time, which I don't know how much you guys know about that program, but basically people were forced to bring their cars in to put this immobilizer in it as part of an MPI program to reduce theft. And people did not want to come in for this program. Anyway, I'd been in automotive for 10 years and wasn't happy even before the immobilizer program. That just made it way worse. And when, you're miserable in your job and you start to think about what can I do differently in my life? And I had looked at real estate very hard a few times before I finally made the decision. And I know it's funny because I laugh. So many people look at real estate as the answer to their problems when they're having a hard time at work. And it's not for everybody, but yeah, I was very, very unhappy with my job, and I had worked in service for a long time, not really in sales roles, but I feel like my service really helped me with real estate because I feel like it's more service than sales. Because it's not really selling, it's helping people find the right house, right? So so yeah, I feel like it worked well for me, and yeah, that's how I got into it.
When you were in high school, what was your goal, or like, oh, what I want to be a whatever? What did you?
I wanted to be sorry, I'm like a therapist, like I wanted to help people in that way. And the funny thing is I feel like that's a lot of our job.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're already doing that, so you made your goal. So.
Yeah. I wanted to be either like a school counselor or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
So just to expand a little bit, when you came into real estate,
Mm-hmm.
did you join a team right away, or were you?
Not immediately. I was on my own for almost the first year. And when I say almost alone, I did find a few people to collaborate with to like help. Like I did get very busy really fast. So I would have a few people that would do my open houses for me because I couldn't be at, 3 open houses in one weekend, and stuff like that. So yeah, I quickly had I'll say a team of people that I could rely on, even though I didn't have a team. And then I did join a team a year in, which was an interesting experience, and I learned a lot. And I feel like it made me less naive and stuff like that, because you learn how different people do things, right? Yeah. And then you can hopefully try to prevent that from happening to your clients. Yeah.
And then what led you to join a team?
Well, I actually was part of different teams over the years, because I'm on 16 years now. When James and I decided to start working together, he was struggling with, being so busy, not able to do it all. And we had been in the middle of doing a new home deal, a new construction deal. And I was having a lull in my career. I had just moved to Niverville and had a bout of depression, and hadn't been like working my sphere and doing all that stuff. So I was having a bit of a lull and having a hard time dragging myself out of it. And I like to collaborate with other realtors. So I'm like, oh, anytime you need help, let me know, blah, blah, blah. And we had a few chats about how that would work or whatever. And then he's like, well, maybe we should like become a team instead of you just like helping me out. And so, yeah, it kind of happened over a few months, and which was nice because like you don't want to jump into that. You know, you want to know that you have similar values. I've worked on teams where we definitely don't have similar values and it kind of explodes. Or your clients, they let you know eventually that they don't like the team or whatever, the people that you're working with, because they're just not like the right fit or something like that, right? So you have to have similar values and stuff like that. And yeah, so me and James enjoyed working together on the few deals that we did prior to becoming a team, and then just helping him out with the show home and stuff like that for a little while. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, when I was new, I had met with James, and he wasn't even working at the same brokerage as me, but
oh, really?
Yeah, like he had just left where I had just started.
Oh, okay.
And then we had coffee, and he was like, because I like live rurally, and he was like, oh, I have homes out there if you want to do open houses and stuff. So it's kind of nice. It's really nice the collaboration. Yeah, it's something we all enjoy, and like I've been working with you now, and it's been fun, so
that's what I love about Real. I feel like Real is very collaborative. Like most of the realtors at Real are very collaborative. You can put something on the chat and someone will always reach out and help you. And it's super great. And that's, I love collaboration in this job, because I find it can be very isolating, this job, right? I mean, we deal with a lot of clients, but like then you end a deal and then, like it's like you lost your best friend every time you close a deal because you spend so much time with them, and then boom, you don't see them.
Yeah, nothing is on. So you've been at this for a while. What advice could you give agents looking to become top producers?
Network with a lot of other realtors. Like I feel like it's really important to have that collaboration and to know other realtors and help them. You learn a ton by helping other realtors. Yeah. And I feel like, if you're not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah.
So my next question is kind of twofold, because I know that you also have a podcast, but what role do you feel social media plays in your business?
I feel like it's important to do it for sure. I feel like the speed of trust is really important in our job, right? And I do feel that social media helps that speed of trust along, because people can watch us on Reels or YouTube or whatever.
Yours are so good, by the way.
What's that?
Yours are really good. Like,
oh, thank you.
So
and yes, we've hired a social media person that does our Reels for us. Wow. So Kieran's doing an amazing job. But yeah, I feel like that by having your voice and your face and stuff like that out there, people feel like they've gotten to know you already. So then when you are giving them advice, they're probably already feeling like they can, trust you because they've listened to you already, right? Whereas when you meet someone new, sometimes they're not taking your advice right away because, they don't know if they can trust you yet. Yeah. So I think it plays a good role in that. I wouldn't say we get tons of clients out of it. So I'm not like, that's not our big focus. Like I know some realtors, that is their big focus to, do all the different social, and that's great. But I think that for us, prospecting and working with our sphere and working with our referrals is higher priority than social media, but we still have to do social media as well. Yeah.
So what does working with your sphere look like? Like, how do you reach out to everybody and do was it 3 or 4 touches a year?
Well, I'd say that is where maybe social media does play an influence, because you can see what's going on in people's lives. So then it gives you reasons to reach out. Someone's dog passed away, or their kid just graduated school, or right. Like it gives you a reason. I mean, I'm a dog lover, so people know, like, it's not just because I saw it on social media. It is genuine. Like, to me, that is an important time in people's lives when they lose a pet. So it's yeah. And one of my friends, or I always say friends, I mean clients most of the time. And, her daughter's in Folklorama right now, so like, I'm going to reach out. And I never made it to Folklorama, unfortunately. It would have been awesome to have gone to see her, but but I can at least reach out and say something about that, right? So that is, I'd say, one of the important ways social media does help me stay in touch with my clients, is it gives me reasons to reach out that are more personal than just, hey, I'm touching base because I love you.
I'm a realtor. Didn't you just go to a dog birthday party?
Yes, I did just go to a dog birthday party.
That's awesome. I would totally do that.
Yes.
Right,
yeah.
Well, I love the fact that you actually said the word friends when referring to clients, because we are in a relationship
Absolutely
business. So going down that path just a little bit further, are there any other strategies that you employ to keep in touch with your clients?
Any other strategies? I used to be a lot better at sending out birthday cards and anniversary cards. I have to say,
it's hard.
I went away from like the system. I used to use send out cards. I went away from the system and started to, handwrite them during the pandemic, which I was great at doing during the pandemic. But I should probably go back to the systems.
I kind of fell off the wagon too. I was really good with birthday cards with a lottery ticket in them.
Oh yeah,
$1 ticket, and everyone loved it. I always got a text like, "Thanks for the lottery ticket and the card."
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. I know the pandemic kind of, everyone kind of changed the way they did things, and some of it was good and some of it was bad. And that was one of the things that kind of, was bad for me because it was great that I was doing the handwritten ones during the pandemic, but then as soon as things got busy again, it kind of went away. Yeah. Systems are important.
You alluded to it a little bit earlier, and it's no secret that we all belong to Real Broker.
Yes.
What is your favorite thing about Real Broker?
The collaborativeness. I feel like everyone is a lot more collaborative. I've been at, a few different brokers over the years, and I feel like, there are some that everyone's like, this is what I got going on. I don't want anyone to know what I got going on. And I don't want to share this with anybody else.
Feeling the lunch next to you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And, or they're in a meeting and you happen to see them in the restaurant in a meeting and they're like, oh my God, try not to make eye contact with you. But I feel like everyone at Real has been very collaborative and very helpful. And, people are like, yeah, share my listings. That wouldn't have happened at some of the other brokerages I've been at. Right? They're like, don't you dare share my listing.
No, I was busy sharing James's listings when I was working at a different brokerage because he actually let me. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know, right? Even when we're at different brokerages, like I know I've seen people ask questions about like, can someone from a different real brokerage do open house for you? And I don't think we asked those questions. We just did it.
Yeah, right? I've done one recently too for an agent that you used to work with her as well. And yeah, she asked me to do it and I just did it.
Yeah, right. Like if whatever, I'm willing to help out with, lots of things. And yeah, it might be a different brokerage, but like, I don't understand why that's a problem. And I think that this is supposed to be a collaborative business. That's why we have a cooperative MLS, right? Like, so why are we trying to like hoard all the, Yeah.
That's very interesting. The one thing I noticed in other brokerages that I've recently been a part of, including Real,
Yeah.
is that when you have your own website set up through the company, it shows every listing in Manitoba from Real Broker. It doesn't just have yours.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case in previous brokerages I had been with a few years
Yeah.
back. So that speaks to the collaboration, I think.
Right, absolutely, because they want everything to be accessible. Yeah.
So on the technology side of things, like I know one of the reasons that we came over to Real is we really like the tech. Is
Yeah.
there something in the tech that really stands out to you? You're like, I love this feature. It's
I'm not sure. I can't. I like Fran does a lot of our admin, so I can't say much. Like I love that it works. Like even the app works on my phone and stuff like that, right? So I can upload a document without having to send it to Fran. Like, because now that the app works, I might as well just upload it instead of emailing it to her to upload.
I haven't figured out how to do that. So
Oh,
yeah, I guess I'll have to get you to show me. I'd have to say my favorite feature is the deposit check thing. So
the deposit check thing is awesome. You're absolutely right. I don't know why that didn't pop into my head first.
Well, the problem with answering that question is by the time someone watches this a couple of weeks from now, there might be a new feature that we haven't heard of yet.
Yeah,
that is true too. Stuff has been changing.
Constantly coming out with, like, they just came out with the AI for Real. It's at the top of our homepage, and you can ask it pretty much anything about Real or your transactions. And then, but yeah, that deposit feature for me living rurally, to send, like, everyone's like, oh, I have to drive to that far to give you a deposit check, and I'm like, yes, you do.
Or I can send you this link.
Yeah.
Right? I've only had one realtor take me up on that link so far. Most of them have actually driven and dropped off the check still, but
I've had a few, and I've had clients use it pretty seamlessly. It's pretty slick. And then I just get the realtor to mail me the check after. So it can come 2 weeks from now, and it doesn't matter because it's already deposited.
Yeah, because if they can't figure out the link, then they can just take a picture of the front and back, and then we can do it on our end. So, which is nice. Saves a lot of driving. Go ahead, Ryan.
Are we ready? Do you have anything else before we get into the
fun ones? No, go ahead.
All right. You ready for this, Denise?
I don't know.
Favorite movie of all time?
I don't know. I switch movies all the time. So right now I'm going to say The Hunger Games because I'm re-listening to the books because they have a 4th movie coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's coming out in November.
That explains why my wife just rewatched every single one of them.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, I haven't rewatched the movies yet. I'm working on the books right now, and then I'll go to the movies. But I had taken my niece, she was a teenager during when the first 3 came out, and I had taken her for her birthday every year because they came out like usually the weekend right after her birthday.
Nice.
So yeah, we have that extra connection. She lives in Toronto now, so I'm like, oh, am I going to Toronto this November? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see if she wants to go.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. What is your favorite thing to do when you're not doing real estate?
Hiking.
Nice. Oh yeah, I have seen some of your posts. With
and snuggling with the puppies.
Have you done that Bald Hill Trail in Clear Lake or whatever? Yeah, it looks.
No, I want to admit I haven't been to Clear Lake since my early 20s. So no.
I've only been once, so
I'm there all the time.
Yeah, I have it on my. I do have an authentic booked for October, so maybe I will try that one in October.
What book has had the most influence on you?
Oh, geez. Right now, I just finished The Glucose Revolution, and that has been very interesting as someone who's had insulin and hormone issues for her whole life. So yeah, I'd say that right now, but like I read and listen to a lot of books because I drive a lot. So so I'd say it changes monthly because I probably go through 15 to 20 books a month.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Well, I mean, when you're in your car all the time, unless I'm talking on the phone, I'm listening to a book.
Yeah, me too. I've been doing that. But I go through phases where I'm like, I just need to listen to the radio for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I started upping the speed. I'm listening
Exactly.
to one right now, and the guy's
7
like
Habits
reading.
of Highly Effective People.
Yes, that's the one. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember what
that
it's
one's
called.
good.
And
Yeah.
the guy's reading it really slow, so I had to speed
Oh,
it
some
up.
of them are so slow that you have to go to like 1.75, right?
I'm like, hey, buddy, get to the point. Um,
Yeah.
and all right, hardest question of the day. The single best piece of advice you have ever been given.
Oh, geez. You should have warned me about these. Single best advice. I'd say the team advice on making sure that you have someone that you're teaming up with people with the right values for that align with your values. That was the best advice. Because in the past, when I was on a team with people that our values didn't align, it was not a fun time. And I'd say that probably works for most workplaces. Like I think that's probably where a lot of workplace strife comes from, when your values aren't aligning. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or when they, yeah, never mind.
You're going to take a shot at me, but that's okay. We like to keep it light. No, I appreciate that advice. That's definitely why I think most of us are going to the company we're going to. And but Denise, tell me a little bit about your podcast before we jump off of here.
Yes.
Well, our podcast, the Boschcast, is it just, we like to talk about real estate. It's supposed to help our clients get to know the different, well, we always talk about the market for one thing, and then we try to keep things light as well with some jokes and stuff. But the main feature of it is usually something about real estate, like how to buy a house in the current market, or what does the time clause mean, because we're seeing more of them this year, or stuff like that. Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because we talked about time clauses today.
Oh yeah.
In our intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah. You'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I will do that for sure. Yeah, we recently did one on how to, when to ask for help when you're struggling, so to avoid foreclosure, because we feel like with interest rates, as people are renewing their mortgage, we're going to see more people struggling. So we figured we'd do one on that, because we do find a lot of people wait too late to ask for help from their realtor. And then, if the auction's next week, it's hard to sell your house before that happens, right? So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I like it. So where can people find you?
The BoschmanTeam.com, or Transcona Chick on most social media.
All right. I like it.
Awesome. And stay tuned on social media, because I think I'm going to be helping Denise out and James with the Parade of Homes. So.
Yes, that'll be fun.
Awesome. Denise, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
It's been a pleasure, and all the best in the future.
Yes.
You too.
Look forward to working with you more.
Yeah. Thanks, Daisy.